IRS tax refund delayed. 10 real reasons it's taking longer and what you can actually do. 1. The 21-day myth. Most people think the IRS has a magical 21-day guarantee. It doesn't. The IRS says most electronically filed returns with direct deposit are issued within about 21 days, but that's not a promise. If your refund enters manual review, that timeline can stretch much longer. Picture yourself refreshing, "Where's my refund?" every few hours like you're trying to buy concert tickets in 2012. It won't make the page update faster. In fact, the IRS typically updates refund statuses on a regular schedule, not every time you mash refresh. If you're under that normal processing window, the smartest move is, ironically, waiting. As painful as that sounds, calling the IRS too early usually won't speed anything up. And the next reason catches people even before the IRS starts processing. 2. Tiny mistakes can freeze everything. One wrong digit in your social security number, one typo in your last name, one math error. That's all it takes. You hit submit feeling like you've completed the final boss of adulting, then discover your return has been flagged because two numbers swapped places. Unlike modern apps that instantly tell you something's wrong, tax systems can send your return into manual review instead. Somehow, we've got AI writing essays, but a missing digit can still create weeks of paperwork. Double-checking names, birth dates, banking details, and filing status before submitting remains one of the easiest ways to avoid delays. But even a perfect return isn't always enough, because sometimes the IRS wants to make sure you are actually you. 3. Identity verification is becoming more common. Tax identity theft has become a billion-dollar problem. That means the IRS sometimes pauses refunds simply to verify the person filing is legitimate. You might receive a verification letter asking you to confirm your identity online or by phone before processing continues. It feels strange. You've already filed, now you're proving you exist. But it's designed to stop criminals from claiming refunds under someone else's name. Imagine opening your mailbox expecting good news and instead getting homework from the government. Responding quickly matters because the refund clock often doesn't resume until verification is complete. Ignore the letter, and the delay can become much longer. And then comes a delay that surprises millions of families every single year. 4. Certain tax credits automatically slow things down. Some of the biggest refunds come from credits like the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Additional Child Tax Credit. Because these credits have historically been targeted by fraudulent claims, federal law requires extra review before many refunds containing them are released. That means even if everything is accurate, your refund may simply take longer than someone else's. It's one of those moments where doing everything right still feels like getting grounded. Waiting doesn't necessarily mean you've done anything wrong. It often means your return falls into a category receiving additional verification. But the next delay isn't about fraud. It's about choosing the slow lane yourself. 5. Paper returns are still living in another century. Mailing a paper tax return in the 2020s feels a bit like burning a CD because Spotify crashed. It still works, eventually. Paper returns require physical handling, scanning, and manual processing, making them significantly slower than electronic filing. Add peak filing season, staffing fluctuations, or postal delays, and processing times can grow quickly. If you're eligible to e-file and use direct deposit, you're usually giving yourself the fastest path possible. Sometimes the biggest refund delay isn't hidden inside IRS software. It's sitting inside an envelope moving through the mail. If you're realizing how many moving parts hide behind one tax refund, keep going. The next reasons are the ones almost nobody talks about. Because even electronic filers can suddenly discover their money has somewhere else to go. 6. Your refund might never reach your bank. A refund can be approved and still never arrive where you expect. If your bank routing number or account number is incorrect, the payment may bounce back, require additional handling, or arrive as a paper check instead. It's the financial version of sending a package to the wrong apartment building. Even worse, entering another valid account by mistake can complicate recovery. That's why reviewing banking information before filing is one of the highest value checks you can make. The IRS can issue the refund, but it can't instantly undo every banking mistake. And believe it or not, there's an even bigger surprise waiting if you owe someone money. 7. Your refund can be taken before you ever see it. This catches people completely off guard. Your refund may be legally reduced or even eliminated through the Treasury Offset Program. Outstanding federal taxes, certain state tax debts, child support, unemployment compensation overpayments, or other qualifying obligations can result in part or all of your refund being applied automatically. You watch the tracker say, "Refund sent," then the amount isn't what you expected. It feels like checking your paycheck after automatic deductions for the first time. If an offset occurs, you'll generally receive a notice explaining why and where the money went. But sometimes, the IRS doesn't reduce your refund. It simply wants another human being to examine your return. 8. Manual review changes everything. Most returns are processed automatically, but certain situations trigger manual review. Large discrepancies, unusual income patterns, conflicting information from employers, or other issues may require an IRS employee to personally examine the return. That doesn't automatically mean an audit. It simply means automation stepped aside. Think of it like airport security. Most people walk through. A few get the extra screening, even if they did nothing wrong. Manual reviews naturally take longer because real people, not computers, become part of the process. And one filing decision almost guarantees you'll need extra patience. 9. Amended returns move at a different speed. Filing an amended return is sometimes the right decision, but it also requires realistic expectations. Correcting income, deductions, credits, or filing status usually involves additional review beyond a standard return. You found a mistake after filing. Good catch. But fixing it isn't like editing a text message before it sends. Once taxes are submitted, corrections become their own process. Adult life would be dramatically easier if there were an undo button for tax forms. There isn't. Amended returns frequently require significantly more processing time, so checking their separate tracking tools becomes especially important. Yet even after all of these delays, there's one mistake people make that wastes more time than any processing issue. 10. Calling too soon usually doesn't help. The instinct is understandable. You want answers. You want your money. But calling the IRS before the normal processing window has passed, or before the online tracker tells you to contact them, often leads to long hold times without changing the outcome. The better approach is surprisingly simple. Use the official "Where's my refund" tracker. Respond immediately if the IRS requests identity verification or documents. Verify your banking information, and keep copies of every tax record you submit. The biggest secret isn't a hidden loophole or an instant refund hack. It's avoiding preventable mistakes before you file. In taxes, the fastest refund usually begins weeks earlier. With the return, you almost never have to think about again.